Hi, I'm Kendall Clark. I'm from Guilford, Connecticut, and I'm a senior at UNH, and I should be graduating in a couple months, May 2012. I'm a sociology and IA dual major with a minor in Spanish.
My name is Benjamin Frehner. I'm a senior here at UNH. My first major is business administration with a focus in finance, and then my second major is the international affairs dual major.
My name is Kelly Whittier. I'm class of 2012. I'm an international affairs dual major with health management and policy.
Because of the IA program and the classes that they offer and the flexibility of having a dual major while also not necessarily straying away from your first major, because the complement to the first major is just, great, because the classes are there's just so many classes that are offered.
I really wanted to pursue an academic abroad experience and really tie that into my other major. And when I found out that we had the dual major with international affairs, you could pair it with so many different things, I definitely knew that this was the right program for me.
I have not met anyone whose major does not work well with the IA program. It's a very open program, and because of that, it melds very nicely with whatever your other study is.
So as a health management policy major, I'm on the public health option. So global health issues are huge right now, especially as our world is shrinking, and obviously I can attest to that since I went and studied abroad in Madagascar.
I love the international component of my dual major, and that's probably the best part of my classes, is being able to mix up the sociology with the international affairs relations component.
It's kind of a great way to tie in my interest in community health as well as global health, to really expand the fact that I'm an American citizen, but I'm also a global citizen at the same time.
As my studies went on, I really realized it was a great complement to my business finance studies. There's a lot of overlap. There's actually a lot of stuff that we studied in our business classes that we would later touch on in our international affairs classes, and vice versa. We would touch on this stuff, and then a few weeks later it would be brought up in an economics class or something.
The great thing about the IA classes is that you have students from so many different disciplines. So where my primary interest is health, other students in the classroom would bring forward interest in economics and politics and social justice issues, which they all tie into one another, but you really get this great conversation around what global issues mean.
So everyone has an array of topics, and it's really interesting being in the IA seminars because everyone went all different places.
Because it really helps broaden your view and understanding of really what goes into health issues and what goes into global issues.
So every day you're just getting all these different viewpoints. Maybe we were talking about globalization. So in my finance classes we're talking about globalization, how money moves.
I've learned things from my friend who studied abroad in Russia about the political system there, and my friend who studied abroad in Italy, and it's very interesting and eye-opening.
There's so many programs to go abroad at the University of New Hampshire, so I definitely wanted to be involved in that, and I didn't realize that the academic component to having an international experience is something that I could really pursue more.
Having the study abroad be a requirement, it really forces you to do it. Because I know so many of my friends here at school who are seniors now and leaving have said since day one they wanted to go abroad, but it's quite a bit of work and legwork on your own. And by having that requirement, it really makes it happen. And I'm not sure if I had not done IA, I don't know if I really would have gotten everything together to get myself abroad.
I definitely wanted to go somewhere where, one, I'd be a minority, I would be in a completely different country. I wanted to go to Africa, I knew that right away. And Madagascar was just such a mystery to me, like I really didn't know anything about it, and so that's kind of like what pushed me to go there, is to get myself out of everything I was comfortable with.
So I was working with a professor in Germany at the University of Paderborn, who was great because you get over there and you have a little support. You have someone who knows who you are, knows what you're doing, and can help you with all the little logistics.
I spent my junior spring in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Lima, Peru. So I did two countries in 5 months, so 2.5 months in each place.
We were all interested in health in some way, and so the classes that we took there pertain to the transition that Madagascar is in right now from traditional medicine and traditional practitioners into integrating modern medical practice.
I was enrolled through a program, ISA, and I took classes at Universidad del Belgrano in Buenos Aires, and I focused a lot on history, Argentine history, and politics. I took a populism class, and that's what got me really interested in my research capstone project.
So I'm a business major, so I was looking at employee benefits in German companies and how those benefits affect the culture within the workplace.
My language I thought was there, and then I got to Buenos Aires and I was very comfortable getting around, but I realized that the Spanish I was learning in college was totally different than the Spanish I was speaking with my family or people in my classes or on the street with, you know, people in restaurants. So that really pushed me, just having a basic understanding of Spanish, but then bringing it to a different place with a different dialect and, you know, different customs really pushed me to learn.
By the time I went to Madagascar, I had finished my French requirement at the 600 level. 632 is what I had completed by the time I had gotten there, and it really helped me get around.
So while I was there, I felt more comfortable speaking, you know, after being in classes and, you know, picking up on things and actually learning the history of why the Spanish evolved into the way it is.
If I wanted to get around in a cab, if I wanted to communicate with people on the street, if I wanted to barter with people, I would use French.
They could speak English, so if I needed to, I could use it, but it was 99% German every day, and it really submerged me in the culture, and I got to experience just a different world, basically.
Probably one of the best things about it was it had to force me, besides just taking grammar classes in Spanish, forced me to take history classes, policy classes, more businessy related classes in Spanish. So it extended my vocabulary and my understanding, and it really has improved my language skills immensely.
Even if you kind of take the academic portion out of your study abroad experience, there are so many other enriching opportunities just being in a different country, surrounded by different people of different cultures.
So I did my research and that was part of it, but for me the most personal growth I experienced was really just living in a German culture for 9 full weeks.
And yeah, I think the language component is definitely crucial, and the study abroad part was the best part of my experience here.
So you'll be making those connections and meeting those people abroad that will help you further not only your experience, but also different things that you can do and opportunities that are there.
So the time abroad for me really just interconnected the studies even more than it had been. They were very connected for me, but it just added another level to that.
It's really hard. It's one thing to watch that on television or to read about it in a magazine. It's another thing to experience it and to have that human connection with other people living in those circumstances, and to understand really what limited opportunities there are in Africa, in developing nations.
If you know you want to study abroad and you have a passion for languages or culture, the IA major is more of an enjoyment than it is, you know, another you know, class or another 8 classes or 10 classes. It really pushes you to do things that you already want to do, and it makes you really appreciate the experiences that you have. So taking, you know, language until, you know, you're at advanced, or studying abroad for 5 months or a year, however long you want.
But really, just more than anything, it just opens your eyes to a bigger world, how things operate in the real world. And also for me, it gave me the confidence in that you can actually do this, because the program, you have lots of support behind you, but it's built on you. You build the research project, you figure out where you're living, and it's quite rewarding at the end when you look back and can realize, all right, I can actually do this stuff and make it happen for myself.
Take advantage. It's an incredible opportunity at UNH that I think everyone should have